Hey folks, in today's video we're going to be changing up our gate to our garden. We've had a metal gate here for the last 4 years, but we got this white trellis a couple of years ago, and Jen has wanted it as the entrance into her garden. Let's make it happen. So now that we have a general idea where we want it, we got to go ahead and pull these posts out because we're going to be using this fence somewhere else, and I'm going to need these posts when I hang that old fence. So since we're going to be using this post as a brace for the trellis, and I want to get the foot for the trellis as close to this post as possible, I'm going to have to manipulate this fencing here, kind of get it out of the way, and then we'll get the first post for the trellis in the ground right next to this post. Alright, so I think that's about good. Now I need to have this post exposed because this is where we're going to be mounting the hinges for the gate, which will go right here.
Hi.
All right, so now that we've got all 4 of those feet in, the next step here is we're going to take this T-post and we're going to drive it in right next to this post. You ready? Here it goes. Oh no, I gotta pound that one in again. I don't know how I screwed that up, but I did. Alright, well let's do it. That sucks.
Just checking out your work.
Checking out my work, yeah.
You do a good job, Macha? Tell me you got the fence off.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's good. It's good enough for government work.
Oh wow, hell, is it good enough for government?
All right, this ain't too bad. So we've got the trellis in place, and we've got it exactly where we wanted, right next to this post. We've got our T-post here. So now we're gonna go ahead and secure the trellis to the post, the T-post and the cedar post, and get all this thing squared away so it don't blow away anymore. Now once we've finished securing the trellis, we're gonna grab some fencing, and we're going to go ahead and close this gap here with some fencing, tie it from the T-post to that cedar post there. Well, we got our fencing up, so that's good. I am going to do something here on the bottom, probably going to throw some gravel. There is a low spot here, so we'll bring it up with some gravel and we'll be good. The next step now is, since I do have electric fence here, I have to take this fence, this line, I'm going to have to run it from this. I have a yellow post here. I have to run it over to the T-post and then up and over the trellis. So I got to get my drill. I'm going to take this post off here. We'll attach it to the T-post, run our line, and up and over. All right, so this is going to be a little tricky since we zip tied this T-post to the trellis. I think what I'm going to have to do is we're going to undo this top zip tie and we'll attach the bracket. I'll be the first to admit I don't always think everything through, and sometimes like this I got to go back and do something different, but that's okay. To be frankly honest, a lot of this stuff I'm just making up as I go anyways. Now that that's on, we're going to go ahead and add another zip tie here. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the wire here, and we'll run it up the trellis, and hopefully it fits. All right, let's see what we got. Looks like I'm a little short, but we can make it work. All right, so now that we've got the fence on, we've got the electric fence up and over the trellis, the next thing I got to do is move the T-post for our solar controller. Ooh, look at that. Huh, piece of cake. Now, let's build the gate. All right, here's our gate. So I have definitely come a long way in building gates, and I'm sure there's going to be folks out there who are going to just say this is terrible, but for us it works. And if you've been watching the channel, I started this journey with no carpentry skills whatsoever. Everything that I've done, I've learned on the go, trying to figure it out, and finding ways to do what I want to do my way. So here's my gate. I love it. Now all we got to do is get some hinges, and then the latch we're going to have to pick up from town. The specific latch I want to use I don't have, so we'll get that tomorrow, and then we'll be able to put the latch on it. But for right now, we're going to go get some hinges, take it back over to the garden, and get this thing mounted up. You know, there really is nothing more gratifying than being able to do things like I've done today. Find the problem or identify a problem, figure out a solution, see it in your head, and be able to kind of piece it together. When Jen and I lived in the city, our problems were nothing like the problems that we have here. Being out here has really made us feel alive. in so many ways. For instance, so I built this really nice gate, but now I gotta figure out how to mount it to this post. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do yet with this. So I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and look at it, and I've got some different types of hinges. We're gonna try to see which one works. It's getting late, sun's going down, temperature's starting to go down too. But I am determined to get this installed today. I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a seagull here. A couple of them. That's weird, we don't get this, we don't see many seagulls here. Huh. Alright, well, let's just see if I can make this work. Well, I think I figured it out. Well, it seems I may have been smarter than I thought, because I've got a couple of these I found. So we're going to see if this fits. Definitely a little bigger than I need, but I think this might work. I think all I have to do is really just attach this so I've got something flat here that I can then attach this hinge to. I'm pretty excited. This is the most satisfying part about this life, in my opinion. It's being able to fix your own shit, solve your own problems. Sometimes not always the right way, but a way. If there was one thing I wish I would have done while I was still in the city, that would have been maybe even take some classes, some carpentry classes, because that is hands down the one thing I didn't do and I really wish I would have. But it certainly made life a little easier here. But you know what, that's all right. Oh yeah. Hey Tasunka. Hey buddy, how you doing? How's my boy? Hey Whitco. What's up, baby? Hi buddy. Oh, don't jump on me. Good boy. Jen's so much fun with the dogs. That's about as level as it's gonna get. So I'm really sorry about all the wind in this video. It was really windy while I was working on this, so if it came through the audio, I apologize. But we're done, and the gate is awesome. And the whole trellis here is even better. You know, having this trellis here is something Jen's been wanting for a long time. We had gotten the trellis a couple of years ago from a friend of ours, and now it is up in its forever home. Now we are going to be adding some boxes in here. We're going to have flowers that are going to grow up and around the trellis. We're actually putting a box here and a box on here, so it'll be growing up from both sides. The seeds are currently over there in the greenhouse, and as soon as they are ready to transplant, then I'll put boxes down here and we'll get those planted, and hopefully by summer we'll have some really nice hanging flowers up here. So, and those are perennials, so they'll come back every year, which is really cool. As for the gate itself, like you saw, it was really easy to make, and the latch just makes it easy for us to come in and out, which is awesome. So yep, we like it. Now as for the tractor, on the other side of the garden here we have double gates, and I can still bring the tractor in through that way. Though I am going to be taking one of those gates off because I don't need that much space to get in, and then we're going to use that gate along with the gate that was here over someplace else. But that's a project for another day. All right, folks, well, that's going to do it for this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We'll see you folks on the next video.